Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Night Owls on this preview edition. We're already in week 6 of the college football season. That's crazy, Blake. Week 6?
We made it. We made it.
It seems like we're going so fast. This season's going, it's speeding right through me in the blink of an eye. I feel like we're already going to get into the winter, the Christmas holidays. And, I'm all here for it. I love this time of the year. Thanksgiving is creeping up on us. But we're not here to talk about that. I know what you're here for. That is the FAU versus Rice preview. The Nerds. FAU is going to play against the Nerds over in Houston, Texas. Blake, though, this Rice team is 3-2 on the season. The two losses they have come to two undefeated teams, and it's been a pretty successful season for the Nerds over in Houston. So, Blake, spread is 4.5. I want to ask you, how do you view this Rice program? Do you just view them as nerds who don't really contribute anything to the conference, or do you actually think they should be taken seriously?
I mean, you gotta. I feel like in this day and age of college football, gotta take every team serious just because of the portal. There's talent everywhere. This Rice team, they do have a conference win, which FAU doesn't have. They did get a W over Charlotte the week before last, obviously falling to Navy last week in a close game actually, and I think Navy's a pretty solid team. I know we've talked about them. Great team last year, a team that can still compete in the upper echelon of the American Conference. I mean, a lot of their games have been close. They haven't won by a lot. They haven't lost by a lot. I mean, obviously, their biggest loss was to Houston, who is a Big 12 school, and they put up points against them. So I think Rice, they have a solid team. We'll get into the roster a little bit later. We'll get into some stats. But I do think Rice has a solid team. I mean, their schedule coming up, they got FAU, UTSA, and UConn as their next 3 games, which um, is not the toughest schedule in college football over the next 3 weeks. But I think it is definitely a team that FAU can handle and hopefully get a wrap on. And FAU comes out of there with a W on the road. But this Rice team cannot be overlooked. I think that's what we're going to find out a lot about this today in this game preview. Rice is a solid football team. We're going to get into that offense, the triple option, going to be the story of the game. Can FAU stop the run, which has been an issue for them in the past, but I'm excited to get really into this Rice team. I think they have a lot of talented players, and yeah.
Yeah, Blake, 100% agree with you there. I do agree with you on everything you said. And Rice has, not the toughest next 3 games, but UConn's a very good team. They have to go to UTSA, who's always good. So the path to 6 wins, if they want to win 6, they have to win on Saturday. And for FAU, they might need the win even more. So for both teams, I think it's a must-win game. So they're going to put everything on the line. If FAU wants to turn the season around, get 6 wins, make a bowl game in year 1, it starts on Saturday in Houston, Texas. So that's going to be very interesting. Coach Kitley talked about how he's going to have 40 plus family members and friends go to the game because he's from Houston. He coached at Houston Baptist. He has ties to that area. So it is going to be a very meaningful game for Coach Kitley. Indeed. You talked about Rice. They did lose to Navy last week, a game of 2 triple options. But Blake, this year's Rice team is led by a new head football coach who goes by the name of sorry if I'm butchering this, guys, but Scott Abel or Scott Abel, would it be? I think it's Scott Abel, but he is a triple option type of guy. He comes from a triple option coaching tree, and he is a new head coach, and he's been doing very successful. At the beginning of the season, Rice was known as the least talented team maybe in the country. They were projected to win 3.5 games. They already have 3 wins on this season. So he has done a great job incorporating his scheme, his game plan, and Abel has been solid. He's been all over. He was with the Wildcats and he led the nation in rushing yards with the Wildcats. And that would be Davidson. And now he's the head coach here at the FBS level after being there with the Davidson Wildcats. So
Right.
what do you kind of think about the triple option for FAU? They struggled to stop the run last game against Memphis with letting up over 350 rushing yards. How do you think FAU has to prepare for this triple option? And when it comes to stopping it, how would you be coaching these guys with how to contain that?
Right, that's a good question. I think the triple option is definitely an interesting offense. I think obviously they're gonna lean on the run. Rice has a total of 1,100 rushing yards on the season already through 5 games, compared to FAU's 480, just as an example. So Rice is running the ball very effectively. They have 3 rushers over 200 yards already on the season, and a lot of splitting of the carries between the quarterback, Chase Jenkins, the running back, Quentin Jackson, and Dalen Alexander. So they got a lot of people that are able to, run the football. And that's going to be the story of this FAU team. If they're able to stop the run effectively, keep Rice in the passing situation. I know you're running triple offense, but get Rice in the third and long. Make them throw the ball. You can't let Rice get rolling on the ground game and keep racking up these short plays that wear down an offense. When you see a triple option team, what I think of a triple option is those teams that can run 12 plays and kill clock. 12 plays, go score points, and kill clock. FAU cannot get into one of those games. This FAU team is not built for one of those games. This FAU team is built for fast-paced offense, and their defense has to try to do a good job of getting this Rice offense off the field quickly, so Zach Kitley's able to take those big shots and not have to worry about the clock so much and about Rice having 10-minute possessions with 14 plays. Um, it really, I think this is going to be the story of this game building up to it. FAU needs to stop the run, keep Rice in the third and long, make them throw. If you make Rice throw, I think FAU's got a great shot of winning this football game. If we can stuff the middle and fill the gaps, this game could easily swing FAU's direction.
I 100% agree with you. But as you mentioned, FAU does have to stop the run, but Rice isn't a traditional triple option team. Yes, they do the triple option, but they're not like the military academies where the whole game plan is a triple option. They do throw the ball. Jenkins had over 20 passing attempts against Navy, so they are going to throw the ball. They can air it out. Obviously, they're not going to throw it 50 times like Caden Belcamp will in the Kitley offense, but FAU's got to be ready for whatever comes. Now, Blake, normally against triple option teams, the game plan is to try to, force them to a loss on first down, and then you get to second and long and third and long, and that's how you win football games against triple option teams. It's by making it second and long and making them go and make stupid mistakes in the penalties, whether that's a holding call, which will set them back. Because if they get 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, you can almost assure it's going to be a first down. But if
Right,
FAU makes some 2nd and 12s, that's how you get them off the field because they don't have too many big plays through the air. So
right.
is that kind of going to be the game plan if you're FAU's defense?
It's got to be the game plan. I think that's what they're going to be preaching: is fill the gaps, make tackles. One thing you mentioned, penalties for Rice. They're averaging 55 yards of penalties per game. That is the ninth. Um, that's the ninth in the conference. FAU's fourth with 61 yards per game. So I think Rice overall is a pretty disciplined team as a whole. So putting the pressure on them to make penalties will definitely be important. But we have to remember that Rice, this is a disciplined football team. This team that's gonna not get into penalty trouble. That's not gonna back them up and make dumb mistakes. But I think if FAU is able to just stop the run, I think the goal for FAU, if you really want to put it in like a game scheme, if you hold Rice to under, let me think of a number here. I mean, Rice is averaging 84 yards of passing a game. Um, so that's roughly you're getting about um 305 yards of total offense. If you hold Rice to under 250 rushing yards, I think you got a shot to win this game. And I don't think that's too crazy of a statement because if you're able to hold them under the 250, 200 mark, um, you should be able to get more yards than that. Hopefully, that means you're hopefully going to be able to score more than that. Um, you really just have to limit this rush game. It's going to be a huge test of FAU's discipline. We've seen them fail a couple of times in that. Obviously, against Memphis, one play that still sticks out to me. Even almost a week later, 90-yard touchdown run on third down to really swing the momentum Memphis's way. FAU has to plug it, have to plug the gaps, have to stuff the run, get the corner. You can't let this get into the second level. Run's got to stay with the linebackers and the D line. You got to see our big guys step up front to get Barber, um, even on the edges because they're going to be trying to do some pitches and stuff outside. You have to really come down and make plays. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a game where we're going to need speed and size and strength. But if FAU is able to be built for it, I think it's a great sign for the future of this defense.
I definitely 100% agree with you there. You have to get these guys on the D line in the front seven be able to tackle. And I think that's huge. Coach Kelly talked about eye discipline. If they want to stop the run, they need to have better eye discipline. So hopefully they'll be working on that in practice. We had one of our reporters, Jordan, actually at practice. So if you want to see some videos from practice yesterday, go to the Night Owls, FAU underscore Night Owls Twitter, and you can see some videos of how FAU is practicing against the triple option. They're running scheme practice plays. Now, we've talked about how FAU's defense has to stop Rice, and that is through that front seven, as you mentioned. You got to have Doggett get some tackles. You got to have Langston be able to be solid as well there. And then on the edges, we have to get Najon, Barber, and Wilkington, Nod, Deshaun Batiste, and Sledge, whoever it is, they have to do their 111. They have to get their man, whoever it is, get past him and get after the triple option. And also something about the triple option is that we're going to see who Jenkins, if he takes off, if he runs it himself, he's going to pitch it back to his running back a lot of the times. So they have to contain two guys because when Jenkins crosses the line of scrimmage, they do a lot of laterals back. And that's what the triple option is. That's what the option attack is. So FAU can't fully single in on one guy on defense. They have to make sure that the whole field is scanned because if, you have Jenkins take off right, he rolls out right and he's 5 yards on the line of scrimmage, ahead of the line of scrimmage, and he's already 5 yards past it, well, he could easily just flip it back to Quentin Jackson, who's
Yeah.
been one of their best running backs, and easily do that, and then Jackson will take it himself. So that's what you got to do on defense. You got to scan the full field. The front seven has to have better eye discipline, and everyone has to do their 111th and tackle because it's going to be tackle, tackle, tackle. That's how you win. Let's talk about how FAU has to do on offense against this Rice
Yeah.
defense. And Rice's defense is looking really good, to say the least.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. Their pass defense right now, third best in the American, only letting up an average of 171 yards per game. That's pretty good, and they're gonna go into this game. Obviously, we know what they're gonna do, but they know what we're gonna do. We're gonna be airing that rock out. We're throwing it to Messer, throwing up to Solid Wasim, getting everyone involved in the passing game. So I will say, Rice has a very solid pass defense. You look at the run defense; they're about up there, up still near the top, um, eighth. So pretty middle of the pack, bottom tier rush defense. So I think what FAU might try to do here, lean a little bit more on the run today. Rice has a really good, strong passing offense now. That may be a little skewed because they did play Navy, who obviously didn't have a lot of passing yards in the game that they played against them. So the stats may not tell the full picture because if you're going up against a team that doesn't pass a lot, you're not gonna let up a lot of passing yards. But yeah, I think this Rice defense, um, statistically good against the pass, not as great against the run statistically. But I think they're very capable, and that's going to be something that FAU is going to need to grapple with. I hope. I mean, let's be quite honest here. The reason FAU is going to win this game is by the offense. The defense is going to need to step up and make plays, obviously, but this FAU offense is going to be, you know, I think they got to score at least 35 to really give us a good chance of winning this game. I've just seen our defense not step up in a lot of big moments, especially against the run. So this FAU offense is going to be going to need to be firing on all cylinders. They need to come out strong early like they did against Memphis. They need to hold that momentum. Can't get stuffed early on. Got to play the field position game with Rice because I think if you're able to pin him back deep and give our offense a good chance to get some better field position, it is going to be a hard-nosed football game. I think it's hard-nosed. It's going to be tough. It's going to be gritty. And this is going to be a challenge for Coach Kidley. I mean, he's really going to need to get these guys mentally ready to be so physical and tough because it's going to be a long haul game. It's going to be a game that goes slow. This isn't a marathon. This isn't a sprint. This game's going to be a marathon. This is a boxing match right here. There's going to be punches thrown on the line of scrimmage. We got a huge game coming up for both of these schools, a battle of the Owls. There's going to be all these teams, especially FAU, and that offense is going to need to be firing on all cylinders. I think if the defense does their job for the most part, we got a shot.
Yeah, Blake, 100% agree with you in all phases of what you just said. And I, whatever you just said with the marathon, not a sprint, exactly what I was going to say. Same analogy. It's going to be a long game. I would not be surprised if this is an overtime game. You said that the offense is going to be the X factor if they want to win the game. They're going to have to protect the football, not turn it over. But I want to go more in depth. I want to say it might even be the offensive line who
Yeah,
could be the whole football game. Now, Rice actually has the leading sack player in the American Conference so far. In just 5 games, Michael Daly has 4.5 sacks. This is an NFL talent here. And FAU's best defensive lineman, who we all thought, CJ Doggett, he had 3 sacks all of last year at Ohio. Well, already Michael Daly already has 4.5 sacks in 5 games. So this is a guy who's probably going to get a sack based on statistics. He also has 7 tackles, and the Rice total defense ranks 5th in the conference, and that's ahead of both Tulane and South Florida, which is a very solid defense. FAU's defense ranks 13th.
yeah,
And Rice's offense total ranks 13th. So it's basically very similar here. Rice has a very good defense, and let's
yeah,
not put that lightly. Now, they do have their best corner. They brought in 2 corners. They had the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes best corner last season, who we all knew from the Tulsa game, and Night Owls wasn't a thing, but on the Owls Nest where I was breaking down, Clay Wyatt was excellent, and he already has an interception and 4 tackles this season. So Rice brought in a lot. 5th total defense, best guy on the defensive line, but their rush defense, Blake, is not as good as their pass defense. Their
yeah.
secondary ranks 2nd. With Jamari Sands out, I would have expected FAU to lean more on the run just because of how good Rice's pass defense is if they can't find success in that. But now with their leading back hurt, is FAU going to still want to do that?
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna still run this rock. I think Kitley still has a lot of faith in Xavier Durrell. I still think he has a lot of faith in Caden Shields Dutton. They're still gonna be a huge impact of the game. And you mentioned Michael Daly. I'm gonna mention another name here. Tony Anawanu has 3 sacks. They got 2 people combined for 7 sacks. Ty Anthony Morris has another 2. They're able to get after the passer. Now, I think this FAU offensive line last week
Blake, are you still there? Blake. How about you leave and rejoin Blake? We'll wait for Blake here in momentarily. But to Blake's point here on today's show, I totally agree with what Blake said. This FAU offensive line is completely vulnerable. You don't have Madden Sanker playing in Saturday's game. You don't have Jake Von Nonar playing in Saturday's game. You don't have Qshawn Sapp playing in Saturday's game. FAU is down 3 starters heading into the season on the offensive line, and that is very problematic. We have Blake back in
Sorry,
today's show.
some technical
Blake,
difficulties. What I was saying was, obviously this Rice D line very good, combines for a lot of sacks, but this FAU offensive line last week against the talented Memphis front allowed zero sacks. So I think it's going to be coming in. They're feeling good. They want to do it again. We talked to Kitley after last game. He was very proud of how that O line played, letting up 0 sacks. If Velkamp has time to find his receiver, he's going to be dangerous, and that's what we need. We need Velkamp to be sending that ball downfield, blurring that Rice defense. Really need to work that score, work that deep ball. And I think when you get the deep ball going, that run game's going to open up. Jamari Sands, a fantastic player, but I do think we have the guys that can hopefully take his place. Xavier Trell and Caden Shields Dutton. If you're listening to this, we need you this Saturday because you guys are going to be really. Y'all going to get some carries, I'm going to be honest, because this Rice run defense is a little suspect at times. So hopefully they get the ball, they get to pounding that rock, and hopefully FAU walks out of Houston with a dub if this offense can work.
yeah, and Coach Perk actually watches this show, the running back coach. He told me about it when I saw him last that he's a daily listener on the Night Owls. Coach Perk, I know you are watching right now out of nowhere. You're mentioned here. Get the run game involved. Tell Coach Kitley we want to run this football because Rice is playing very locked down in the receiver game. Blake, we've talked about some of Rice's defensive stars. We've talked about their quarterback Jenkins. Who are some of the weapons on offense that FAU has to stop through the running and passing game?
Yeah, I mentioned Quinton Jackson, number one running back right now. Chase Jenkins and Dalen Alexander. Those are going to be the three guys in the run game that are going to be big factors. Their number one receiver right now, Drayden Dickman, only has 168 yards on 18 catches, but he does have 2 touchdowns. So they're going to be able to look for him to put some scores in through the air. Aaron Turner as well, 13 catches for 76 yards and also 2 touchdowns. So they're going to be looking to use this pass game a lot in the red zone from what the stats are telling me and what I know about Rice. I think this pass game, they're not going to be looking to send the ball deep downfield, obviously, but you have to be wary because they do have some talent at the receiver position. Even Aaron Turner, he has more rushing yards than receiving yards. He has 92 rushing yards on 11 attempts. So he's also going to be dangerous out of the backfield. I mean, really, they've got a lot of people on this list with rushing yards. And I think the main one's going to be Jenkins and Jackson. Those are going to be the two people that FEU is going to really need to hone in and laser on. But got to watch out for Turner out of the wide receiver position. And obviously, the guy I mentioned, Drayden Dickman. Those are going to be the 5 main guys I'd say working out of that offense in the run and pass.
100% love those weapons. Spread is 4.5, Blake, and I guess it makes sense. It's in Rice. They have a winning record. We have a losing record. But to you, is 4.5, a lot, or does that seem right? Because, I saw a Rice fan say that he thinks that Rice should be favored by more, and he thinks that Rice is going to easily win this game. But for me as an FAU fan, when I looked at it, I mean, it's Rice. It's the Nerds. I can't take them seriously. I don't know why they are big favorites here. We talked about Jenkins. We've talked about, their running backs with Quinton and their defense and how good they are at getting after the quarterback with Michael Daly, and the fact that it's going to be hard for FAU's defense to contain the triple option, specifically Quinton Jackson and DeAndre Hardman. So what do you think? What do you think about the spread?
I think 4.5 is pretty decent. I mean, you still keep it within the range of a touchdown game, which honestly, when I look at Rice's schedule, no matter how good of a team they played or no matter how bad of a team they've played, it's been close. I mean, obviously, sorry, 8 point loss to Navy, 9 point win over Charlotte, 19 point win over Prairie View A&M, 2 point win over Louisiana. So this game's gonna be close no matter what, just based off of Rice's previous opponents. I think FAU is on a better level than Charlotte. They can get close to Navy. I think they do in a lot of different things. So we'll see how Rice is actually able to react from playing a triple option team to an air raid offense, which is going to be very interesting to see how they adjust to pretty much polar opposite styles of offense. I think 4.5 is pretty fair. I could see like 2.5, 3.5 if they want the field goal possibility in there, but 4.5 I'd say is a decent spread. Definitely should not be higher. I mean, if you think of higher, like 5.5 doesn't really affect anything. I think if you get in a 6.5, you think it's going to be a touchdown game or a two field goal game. There's no way it should be that. 4.5 is a decent spread. I'm taking FAU to cover that spread all day though. I take FAU money line, but yeah, I think it's a decent spread.
Agree with you there, Blake. I think if I'm a Vegas guy, I'm taking 2.5 there, maybe 3, but 4 seems like a lot. I think FAU definitely is going to compete in this game. Must win game for both teams, Blake. Saturday in Houston. What is your score prediction? How is this game going to go, baby?
Yo, I mean, if you look at this Rice team, 21 points allowed, 17 points allowed twice, 12 points allowed, and 35 points allowed. So I think FAU is gonna put up in the range of the 20s. I think FAU does pull out this game. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 28-24 FAU. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I think FAU gets the 4 touchdowns they need to pull this out. Hoping this FAU defense can hold Rice to 24. I think that's a pretty fair. I think that's pretty reasonable for this FAU defense. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 28-24. Owls come out of Houston with a win and keep their season rolling and on track and hopefully get that conference schedule rolling.
Could definitely see that, Blake. Let's go in this battle of the Owls. You said 27-24, right?
Yeah, 28-24.
28-24. I'm saying 31-24. FAU wins this game by a touchdown. We are going to get back in the American Conference race. Big upset this Saturday over Rice. And I think the X factor is going to be FAU's running backs. We're going to finally see a breakthrough from Caden Shields Dutton. He's had an amazing fall camp. Blake and I were there almost every day. We heard Coach Kitley praise Caden Shields Dutton. Come on, Caden. It's your time. Jamari's down. This is a vulnerable run defense. Let's go. 3 touchdowns from Caden. You may expect Blake and I to be live right after the game. Maybe we will. Maybe we will talk about it right after the show, Blake. And we're going to get into some picks here on the show. But before we do, we are going to shout out a proud sponsor here, FL Teams. If you want to see full Florida content, make sure to follow FL Teams over on X. Again, that is FL Teams at FL Teams. You see all the handles. They cover all of Florida teams. So thank you so much for being part of our show's sponsorship. And we are presented by them. Let's talk about the American Conference this
Yeah,
week, Blake.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here.
Blake, hold on,
Oh,
hold on. Let's go here game by game in the American. Let's start with our Friday night game, Charlotte at USF.
South Florida easily. I mean, Charlotte is just probably one of the bottom tier team in college football. South Florida walks away with an easy dub here in the Robo Bowl helmets.
Yeah, Charlotte sucks and Byron Brown's a great quarterback. Easy as that. Give me USF. Now let's go to our first game here on Saturday. We have Army at or Air Force at Navy. It's not an American Conference matchup, but we'll talk about it because Navy's in the conference.
Yeah, give me Navy. Obviously at home in Maryland. Air Force making a big trip from Colorado. Navy, they got the line at negative 12.5. I think Navy covers. Give me the Naval Academy.
Yeah, and Army, yeah, and Air Force has been one of the worst teams in the country this year, winless on the season. Maybe they got one win when I checked last week. They were winless. Army at UAB, give me Navy in that one as well.
Yeah, I'll take Army. I think this is also going to be a pretty good game. UAB has shown signs of life. Army has shown some good things. Should be close in Birmingham, but I'll take Army to get the W.
Me too. Give me Army. I think they're going to shock a lot of people this year, even though they've been pretty disappointing up to this point. Watch Army to be one of those underdog teams. Maybe they could upset a Memphis or a Tulane. Let's go to UTSA, who's going to be at Temple.
Yeah, in Philly, so that's always an advantage for the third Owl team in the conference. Uh, this is a tough one. UTSA favored by a touchdown, pretty much. Um, I'm gonna take Temple to pull the upset. I think that could be a good game for them to get. Temple, they've got a shot to do it. I like the home team in college football a lot. I'll take Temple.
Yeah, Blake, and you don't know, but I've been following Conference USA American Conference since about 2019 when I started the FAU coverage. UTSA has won 3 conference championships since 2019. This is a football school. This is a school where, this year they're not where they were in previous years, but Drev Traylor has done a great job. He was offered the Texas A&M job 2 years ago. He decided to stay at UTSA. I feel like you're sleeping on you at UTSA. You called them a quote easy game on Rice's schedule. This UTSA team could still win the conference. Give me University of Texas San Antonio in that one, in the Roadrunners win and get to 3-2. Let's see, Blake. We're trying to find the next team. Ooh, this one here. Well, it's FAU Rice. We already picked that one. We got
Tulsa,
Tulsa at
Memphis.
Memphis. Is that the last game, Blake?
Yep, Tulsa, Memphis is the final game at Memphis. Memphis is a 21-point favorite. I would not bet against that. Give me Memphis.
They are indeed a 21-point favorite. Tulsa got a new head coach this season. They have the second youngest coach in college football, who is 6 months older than Zach Kittley. Not as aggressive, though, not as air raid as Zach Kittley. Give me Memphis in that one, Blake. That was a lot of fun. FAU versus the Nerds coming up this Saturday. It's going to be super fun to watch. Let's go Owls, baby.
FAU.
FAU. FAU.
Let's go, baby.
FAU. Let's go, baby. Big game on Saturday. Basketball season around the corner. It's October. We'll see y'all after the game. Former Blake Quillen.
Let's go.
See y'all in the next one. Peace out. And as always, go Owls.